Hello, good morning everyone. I am Dr. Arun Prasad, bariatric and robotic surgeon from New Delhi, India. I'll be talking to you today about certain guidelines which we have made from the Obesity Surgery Society of India. So I'll start my presentation now. We'll just share this screen. So Obesity Surgery Society of India has made certain recommendations for bariatric and metabolic surgery practice during the COVID-19 pandemic last year. This got published in Obesity Surgery Journal as the recommendations from the society. It was accepted in August 2020. We are now in a COVID pandemic that has had a huge impact on the healthcare services worldwide. All planned elective procedures and operations have been put on hold. Some stuff has started now. Unfortunately, bariatric and metabolic surgery took the worst brunt of the pandemic, with most centers putting a complete halt to new referrals and operations. Worryingly, the severity of COVID-19 infection is worse in patients suffering from obesity. And as bariatric surgeons, we will need to incorporate specific measures in operating theater practices to minimize the risk of COVID-19 infection to patients as well as healthcare professionals. When we talk about emergency surgery, the surgeries for bleeding, perforation, strictures, obstruction, etc. have to proceed with all precautions because these cannot be stopped. Urgent elective surgery is required for conditions that might deteriorate like dysphagia, vomiting, those patients who need reversal of surgery. Then there are semi-urgent situations that are likely to deteriorate if delayed for long, like worsening of diabetes and its complications, awaiting renal transplant, joint replacements, etc. Non-urgent elective surgery is planned for conditions that are unlikely to cause harm if delayed. For non-urgent elective surgery to restart the practice, patient deemed to be straightforward should be selected. Younger patients with few comorbidities may be ideal. It may be best to avoid those with a body mass index of 50 kg per square meter or more to start with. Avoid complex revisional procedure operations initially as it may take longer to perform. Avoid high-risk patients initially, like those with severe obstructive sleep apnea and patients more than 60 years old, those with history of venous thromboembolism, etc. Good control of comorbidities is desirable, especially in patients with diabetes mellitus, hypertension, obstructive sleep apnea syndrome. Elective bariatric operation should ideally be carried out on a cold COVID negative site. These are some of the facility requirements. If such separate hospital is not available, then all elective operations should be carried out in a different area or wing of the main hospital. It is desirable to consider changing the pressure within the OT from positive to negative. If that is not possible, one should switch off the positive pressure 30 minutes before induction and start 30 minutes after sanitization at end of surgery. It is recommended to use smoke evacuation devices if possible to protect healthcare works, though there is not sufficient evidence available for COVID-19 to be present in smoke, but there is sufficient evidence of virus like HCV, HPV, HIV to be present in smoke. So this is the kind of recent attire which we all surgeons have got used to. So what is there on the right? On the right, you could see an FFP3 mask or an N95 respirator mask, eye protection by goggles or face shield, for longer cases a respiratory hood, fluid proof shoe cover, fluid resistant double gowns, and double gloves. Anesthesia also is a procedure that has high risk due to aerosol. So intubation is done through this chamber technique. As you can see, there are separate anesthesia guidelines for various surgeons and anesthetists. Intraoperatively, entry into the obese abdomen by muscle splitting optical trocar should be done, should avoid varus needle. Leaks around trocars, Nathanson, etc. during surgery need to be minimized by additional purse-string skin sutures when needed. One extra 5 port for suction cannula to suck simultaneously during energy usage. Careful and swift introduction of staplers and secure suture material to reduce leaks, careful gastric calibration tube handling with all precautions that were taken during intubation, port closures in deflated obese abdomen to be done carefully, and if need be, incision extended by a few millimeters for this. Robotic surgeon at console also to wear basic PPE and take precautions. Experienced person by patient table who can handle leakage and smoke evacuation is essential for robotic surgery as well. This is the kind of a smoke evacuator where the smoke goes through a machine and then through an underwater seal. So to summarize, currently the best practice for mitigating possible infectious transmission during laparoscopic and endoscopic procedure is proper patient and healthcare worker screening and use of a multifaceted approach, which includes proper room filtration and ventilation, appropriate personal protective equipment, and smoke evacuation devices with a suction and filtration system as available. So with that, I come to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for listening.